Well, it has been a hot minute since I've heard that.
Right?
Exciting. Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. Can you tell, man, my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much. I'm so happy that we're back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. This would be season 2, episode 21, I think.
That's in dispute.
That is in dispute. But just after 11 a.m. East, that is 8 a.m. Pacific, and it is June 18th, Paul McCartney's birthday. I'll get into that. And
it is?
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday, sir, Paul.
Thus the question of the day.
Oh, that's why you changed it.
That's why I changed it.
Now I know.
I had another one, and then at the last second I changed it because I know a lot about Paul McCartney. All right, so I'm a huge
don't mess with him.
Beatles fan. All right, so oh, hey, I'm Ron. That dude over there, who's actually back in the United States, is John Yaglensky, my partner and the executive producer of the podcast. And I'm so happy you're back, John.
Greetings.
John went on a business trip, and he had to go to Tokyo, and he put some postings up you saw on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
While he was in transit, because of course the very first leg.
Of course, nothing ever goes as planned. I believe that's a Styx
nothing
song.
went as planned. But I went to Tokyo, Japan, trip of a lifetime, first time.
Got
to check off a couple of boxes, and then as soon as he got back, he had to go back out on another trip. That's why we didn't have last week. Also, I was doing a health thing, which I'll get into in just a little bit. Yeah. But John Yaglensky back. Let's hear about the trip so I can live vicariously through you about a trip to Tokyo, Japan. First of all, the travel ip with the flight.
So, all right, I'm gonna, I'll try not to make this too long, but essentially, keep it.
Give us the Reader's Digest version. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, but it is worth noting because some of the more interesting things happened trying to get there. The day before I was scheduled to go out, my phone went off and my trip got canceled, which was the first. I don't believe this because it's been happening so much. Anybody who's been traveling recently knows. I found out if you're traveling through Dallas-Fort Worth, 45% of the flights, if not more, have been canceled for.
Your flight was canceled
last month. Right, was canceled.
Okay, you said trip, and I'm thinking, oh, did the boss from your
flight? No, sorry.
I'm like, geez, they said don't go, and then you went anyway. I'm like, gosh, no, okay. The flight was canceled. Okay,
right. Okay, yeah. So get that notice. I'm cursing. Wife is like, I'm going to go in the other room.
I know. I heard you up here.
Yeah. Heard me 4 or 5 states away, something like that.
I'm in Maryland. He's in South Carolina, exactly. Just so you know.
So before I could really get on the phone with American, who I was flying with, and that's my airline of choice.
Sure.
They sent me an update, and we've rebooked your trip. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Okay. That was like within 30 minutes or so. While I'm panicking, trying to call and doing the whole 9 yards.
Right.
It comes through. All right. You've been rebooked. You're now going to go instead of going from Savannah to Dallas to Tokyo, now you're going Savannah, Miami, Dallas to Tokyo. So it added a stop. I have to go down to Miami, switch planes, and then go out that way. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. There's about an hour layover. Great. We'll make it. It won't be too bad. Although Miami's a big airport, depending on where you go. Anyway, so got it, finished packing, went to sleep, got to bed early, like 4 a.m. wake up call for like a 7 a.m. flight, I think, to get to Savannah. I get up. I'm about to take a shower, dark of the night. I check my text messages. Your flight's been canceled. I'm like, son of a filth, foul and filth.
Right.
Coming
By the
out
way,
of
I'm going to be laughing through the whole thing. It's nothing personal, John.
No.
It's not that I didn't want you to take the trip.
Even
I just think it's hilarious the way this is all stacking up against you like a Jenga tower.
Oh yeah,
This is
so
crazy.
it's great. No, so that gets canceled, and then I'm like, well, gotta get in the shower anyway.
Sure.
By the time I get out of the shower, it's like, you've been rebooked. I'm like, okay,
Good.
that's fine.
Yes.
We're rebooked.
Thank you.
But the tighter window in Miami, but you've been rebooked, right?
All right.
So hop in the car. I get 5 minutes down the road. I'm going to go over the bridge, Hilton Head, heading out to Savannah.
Yeah.
Your flight's been canceled. I'm like,
I'm sorry, John.
are you kidding? Like, could I just,
But Shanice.
oh. So I hop on the phone at that point, and I'm driving and trying to dial the American, and I'm going slow. I'm in the right lane. I'm trying my best to be safe. Of course, nobody's on the road at this time in the morning, but you never know when a deer is going to jump out in front of your car.
Sure.
Anyway, get on the phone to American. We realize you're calling for this flight. We can either call you back or you can wait on hold. If we call you back, it will be 4 hours.
Oh,
I'm like, 4 hours?
My
What?
What you?
What? So anyway, I'm like, okay, nope. I just at this point, I'm going to the airport because they're going to be able to resolve this at the airport. It's a 50 minute drive from my house.
Sure.
10 minutes down the road, you've been rebooked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, oh, okay. I've been rebooked. And then I look at it. I've been rebooked on a flight that's scheduled to leave an hour earlier than I was supposed to leave. So now I left early, but I'm like,
now you're on time.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
no,
I'm
you're barely going to make it.
40 minutes for an internet, like this is the start of an international flight. And I'm like, I got to put my bags through and stuff, like, because I never check bags, but I'm checking bags. Okay. So anyway, I'm doing like 75, 80 down I-95 going to Savannah. Like, just, I've got to make it there. I got to make it there. I get 5 minutes out from the airport, 5 minutes, like literally on the road going to the airport. And I get a notice that your flight's been canceled. I'm like, what? I know, right? We haven't even gotten into the trip yet. And then like, I'm pulling into the parking garage and it says, oh, like psych, basically. Your flight's not canceled. It's really just pushed back an hour. So now
push back an hour to where you originally were going to be leaving.
I'm on time. So anyway, at that point, I'm flying from, for those following along here, I'm flying from Savannah to Charlotte.
Miami.
Charlotte.
Oh, this is the rebook. Okay.
Yeah, to Charlotte. To Boston. And then Boston to Tokyo.
No, to Tokyo from Boston. Okay. Even farther away than from Dallas. Longer flight.
Yeah, but I mean, still getting there. And all in all, I think I got there within an hour of when I was supposed to originally get there. Okay. So I'm going to do a really quick, because this has to do with travel woes and things like that. And then we'll get into the trip. I'm going to go to the end of the trip.
Yeah.
Where if you were following along in the last couple of minutes, my trip got rebooked, right? Yeah, so originally when I booked this trip, I went in and said, okay, I'm going to leave from this airport. I'm going to go to this airport. Then I'm going to fly out from that airport back home to my airport. Okay. So, you would book out and back the same, right? Okay. Well, realize now things have been changed. And unbeknownst to me, as I'm leaving Tokyo, I did not realize that the airport that I flew into was not the airport that I booked originally.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So I book a bus. It's an hour and a half bus ride to the further airport in Tokyo. I get off the bus and no one gets off the bus with me at Terminal 3. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, I wonder if I'm in the wrong terminal. Did I get off at the wrong turn? And I'm looking, no, it says Terminal 3. So I'm like, well, worst case, I'll just take a bus to the other terminal or walk there or whatever. So I get inside, I'm looking, I do not see JAL, Japan Airlines. I don't see the counter. Like looking up and down, I see nothing. I go over to the information booth. I say, where's the JAL counter? This is the flight I'm taking. The lady goes, that's the other airport.
And
I'm like, what? What do you mean? Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Other airport? What do you mean? Yeah, that's the other airport. The other airport. And I'm like, oh my God, I went to the wrong airport. What? Like, okay, how do I get there? How do I get there? Like, I'm in panic mode. Like, I'm going to miss my flight. This is an international flight. I'm going to miss my flight. Yeah. And I'm like, she gives me a piece of paper. She's very kind, very nice lady.
Yeah.
And she goes, you take this train to this train and that gets you there. And I'm like, that gets me there after my flight leaves at 10:50. My flight's at 10:30.
Yeah.
I said, what about cab? She goes, oh, okay. And she starts running. She's like, follow me. I'm like, okay. Like, follow. Like we're running. We get outside to this late model, like looking like an old Mercedes, probably was an old Toyota or something. Yeah. Cab, guy sitting there like sleeping. She's like, he needs to get, she explains the whole situation. He's like, oh, okay. Opens up the trunk. We get in.
Oh, no.
We're going. The other airport is an hour away. 1 hour away. Now, I got to the airport 3.5 hours before my flight.
Sure.
Okay. So I think it was it was 3 hours before my flight. So essentially, by the time of getting off the bus and whatever, I was going to get there, maybe if I was lucky and there was no traffic, 90 minutes before my flight. For an international flight, you're supposed to like get there 2 hours ahead of time.
Sure.
And anyway, we fly. This dude's booking. I'm tracking it on Waze. I'm seeing like estimated time, traffic. And by the way, Waze works in Japan, which is cool.
Okay. Thank you. That's important.
Yeah, no kidding. So I get to the airport.
Yeah.
I get out of the cab and I'm like, okay, here we go. That was just an hour cab ride. How much am I paying in stupid tax? $250 for the cab ride between the two airports. But I mean, what were you going to do?
What are you going to do? You had to do it.
That, and I dropped the guy. By the way, tipping in Japan pretty much doesn't happen.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Pretty much they do their jobs and they expect their job to stand alone. And it's kind of an insult if you give a tip. But as I'm getting out of the cab,
you decided to insult the guy.
Yeah, I pulled a 20 spot US, which is worth a lot more in Japan dollars, by the way, because the exchange rate is ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, here's a little something extra. You got me here. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you.
Right.
And I'm not trying to insult you. I'm thanking you. You did a great job. Thank you. He was like, thank you. I'm like, okay, great. Wonderful.
Okay.
So anyway, get inside and literally get through security, check my bags. And I had 25 minutes to spare. I got breakfast in the club, got a coffee.
Oh, wow.
And then boarded in group 2, thanks to my Sapphire status.
All right. Well,
so anyway, that was the trip there.
I was going to say, since the trip there and the trip back has taken up all this time.
Yes.
Let's talk about the trip next week. No, I'm
yes.
I'm kidding.
No. Well, I mean, I can just give you the other highlights. So I was there for work.
What was the best thing you ate?
Best thing, ramen. the noodles.
Yeah, but at like a real ramen restaurant.
Yeah, at a real ramen restaurant, and where they had like little booths, like you had individual booths. I was with 3 people, and you each have your own little thing, and a curtain goes up like a peep show. It's like, what is going on here? And they put your food out. You don't see the faces of the people serving it, and they give you your stuff, and it's weird, but
that's odd.
It is odd, but the ramen was wonderful. I mean,
I bet it was.
We did go to a sushi place at one point, and my friend Maxim
I would hope so.
Yes, Maxim's friend Gerhardt, who apparently has a stake in or founded the company that later became lynda.com and then LinkedIn Learning, and is owned by Microsoft now. And he was like one of the original guys. He took us out to dinner, and we had an amazing, like 7 or 10 course sushi thing. There was some stuff I did not try, but the stuff I did try was really good.
Did you try the fugu?
You know what? I made that joke. I did.
Anybody get it?
Fugu, tasty fish. Poison, tasty fish. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They got it.
They got it?
Yeah, they got it.
There's a reference to the
Simpsons, not the people working there, the Americans that were in there. Anyway, it was that was good. Had Kobe beef there too, which was amazing. Fantastic.
Oh, Kobe. Yeah, right. Because it's Wagyu here.
Yes.
In the US.
Yes, exactly. Right? Yes, I think so. Or is it? Or
it's what?
It's Wagyu. Wagyu. Right.
Yeah.
That was the best thing. So I got there thinking I was going to, be fine and go out and explore. I ended up going to sleep. Jet lag is real, people.
Yeah.
I did 2 jet lag days in Disney at Tokyo Disneyland and then Tokyo Disney Sea. Follow along with at Intercot, INTERCOT, and you can check out all that stuff.
John tries.
Yep, John tries.
Not exactly sure what kind of meat this is, but it's some sort of meat.
There's another segment coming. We had a day real quickly. Had a day just planning things out, doing some stuff around. I had 3 days of video shoot.
Right.
1, 2, 3 days, which left us no time at the end of the day. We'd get back, we'd go to dinner, we'd go to bed, we'd start all over again at 7 a.m. And then the last 2 days there, I did Mount Fuji, a tour to Mount Fuji, riding a pirate ship across a lake, which was cool to take a, sort of a tram railway thing going up, highway in the skyliner sort of thing up to top 5.
Right.
Couldn't see Fuji because it was too cloudy. Did have some charcoal ice cream, which was interesting. Tasted like vanilla ice cream, just looked like charcoal. And then came back down. Oh, this was the good part.
Okay.
Maxim and I did a onsen. Do you know what that is? It's like a hot spa, hot springs.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Where you go in and you shower yourself off. They give you like a little washcloth.
Yeah.
And if you're modest, you walk out with your washcloth over your parts.
Yeah.
To a bunch of naked dudes.
Yeah.
It's
just a thing. It
was very manly.
Man. It's just what they do, man.
Let me just put it this way. I've seen enough naked people for about 10n years now.
You're good? Are you good on that? Yeah.
I'm full up.
Especially naked guys. Yeah.
Some people are very proud. Let me just very proud.
Well, okay.
I'm a little more modest. Anyway, moving on from that.
Please.
And the next day, I was like, I've got to see something else in Japan. And I took here it is for those watching video, a bullet train.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Took a bullet train from Tokyo, managed to figure out how to get from Tokyo to Kyoto. Went 183 miles per hour at top speed.
Was that maglev?
I don't know how it works. It's just a bullet train. I think it's on a track. I don't know how it.
Well, I mean, maglev's still on a track, but I mean, it's magnetic.
I'm guessing this is like a 20-year-old technology, man.
It floats.
Magnet Express, it says.
There you go.
I'm guessing it must have to do with maglev.
Maglev, yeah.
Yep. Got there, did a train museum, which was one of the most awesome things I've seen in a long time. I've still got lots of pictures to post from that I have not posted. I'm just a nerd. I love trains. And then went to see some, what do you call it? Like kind of ancient temples, I guess.
At any time, were you drinking too much
sake,
Japanese whiskey, and went to a late night karaoke bar?
Yes, we went to we went to a bar that when you went inside of it, looked like a cave.
Okay.
And it was a cave bar, and we were in this little room. Karaoke is a very intimate experience in Japan.
Yes. No, I know. What did you sing?
Come
on, John. You don't
remember? There was some alcohol involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I've got like 3 go-to songs from
we did. I think we did level 42, Something About You. That was one of, but there were
wow, that's a deep track, John.
Something About You was a huge hit in the US. What are you talking about?
40 years ago. 40 years ago.
That's when I existed in my prime.
I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, did that. Also did the kind of the old architecture, the houses of worship sort of thing there.
Sure.
Went up in the Sky Tower to see Kyoto and hopped back on a train, came back, went out to dinner and went home. I mean, essentially it was so quick, but it was awesome. And yeah, I wouldn't think twice about going there again. It was just such a good experience.
Well, welcome back. And that's I'm so excited that you got to have that experience, and that you did you experience Napua wants to know if you experienced any of the pushers.
Yeah, she means like the people like to pack you into the trains. Luckily, when I was going from
you weren't on the commuter train.
No, I was. I rode from Shinjuku to Tokyo Station, and it was crowded, but it wasn't that crowded. Yeah. I did not go right at.
They have paddles. They have paddles to wedge you into the train.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So, no, honestly, it was a great time, and so many. I will say, just for the Americans that are out there, McDonald's tastes like McDonald's. I had a Big Mac there. It tasted exactly the same.
I would hope so.
The things I noticed, the drinks were like, remember the child's cup that you used to get as a kid?
Sure.
At McDonald's? That was their regular size.
Well, we're not supposed to have that much sugar. That's why they scale it back. Now, daughter, the younger, speaking of McDonald's, and so she went to Germany last year.
Yeah.
Berlin, and then I forget where, Portugal, I think, and she just did this little triptych. And they went to a McDonald's, and she got a chicken sandwich. And she said it was there were fried chicken sandwich. She said it was the best chicken sandwich she's ever had.
Really?
And it was because it was an actual chicken breast that was freshly battered there and fried. It wasn't frozen, it was fresh. And she said all the ingredients were fresh, and it was wonderful. She got back to the States. She's in the US. She goes to get another chicken sandwich and threw it away because it was nothing like,
it's not the same,
the one they had in Europe.
Yeah.
And also the bread. Now, she said the bread doesn't have any sugar in it. You know, what we have here is super sweet. For some reason we add a lot of sugar in our bread, but there's no sugar in bread over there. So anyway, neither here nor there.
By the way,
you mentioned McDonald's. I brought that up.
Everyone's very fit there. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I felt tall and unfit.
Really? After running all that?
I don't know. I mean, with we could talk about this, but with the travel,
well, that's true.
10 pounds
a lot of
easy.
Really?
Oh God.
I've gone.
Can you see it in my cheeks? Oh my God.
No, nobody can see it in your cheeks, John. You feel that way. No. That's what you see in the mirror. Then we don't see that.
Whatever.
Too much. It's I'm that way with my hair, because when I see myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh, okay, it's me. when I see pictures, I'm like, oh my God, where's the old man gray hair? Where did that come from?
Right.
So anyway.
By the way, for those who don't know me, I'm 5'8" 3/4, like maybe if I'm lucky. So
right. You and I are the same height. I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
Actually a little taller. And no, I was down. I'd been down 16. I was like down 17 pounds.
Right.
Since I started dieting and watching what I eat and so on and so forth. And Greatest Wife Ever has been cooking wonderful food for me and keeping me on track and keeping me on program.
Yeah.
And every time I stray, she has a very valid point, and I got to hand it to her. I don't say it to her at the time, but I will say it to her now in front of God and everybody.
Right.
That thank you for doing that. Because she's like, I don't bust my butt cooking chicken and all these, diet conscious meals for you to grab a bag of potato chips and ruin it. Like, that's fair.
That's
that is a very
yes, indeed.
fair. That is very fair.
Indeedy doodle.
So yeah, that has stopped me more than once from snacking. But I've plateaued and I've gone up a couple because I sat around. This segues into what I was going to talk about.
Please do.
And more about your trip later there, John. I'd love to hear everything about it. I want all the details. But I went in and I mentioned this, and I didn't mean to be cryptic and all that stuff. And oh, woe was me, and with the health issues. But I had to go in and have a procedure done last week, and we're waiting for the results. And so that's it. That's as far as I'm going to go into it. And I feel fine. I feel great. It was something that was caught in a regular doctor's appointment at a regular checkup. So to go do your checkups, do all the tests. And I know you think like they're ordering tests just to order tests, and that might be the case with your doctor. But luckily, my doctor ordered tests that caught something. Yeah. And so we'll see. We're just going to see. And I'll have more information in a couple of weeks, and I'll share that with you. But while that was happening, I wasn't walking around or doing anything. I was sitting and resting with a bag of frozen peas. Yeah. So consequently,
no onsen for you.
The steps I was not getting the steps in, so I went up another couple, and then it was Father's Day, so of course our friends George and Trish, they go all out. Are you coming over? We'll have pool day. They have a nice pool, and everybody got in the pool, and I'm sitting there and I sat there in a chair, and
there you go. That's what you should do after
I was out.
That sort of
everybody's
experience.
Enjoying the pool, and I'm like,
no,
fell asleep.
That's the best thing sometimes.
So the greatest I've ever asked, what do you want? They were doing steaks and asked me so Trish asked Greatest Wife Ever, asked Jenny, make Ron's favorite side and Ron's favorite dessert. And I was having a hard time about desserts. I'm like, oh, cakes, pies, I'm like, oh, hang on. Peanut butter chocolate chunk cookies. That's it. And it's got to be the semi-sweet, the choc, you buy semi-dark Hershey's.
Yeah.
You chunk that up and you put it in a peanut butter cookie, and that's it. I'm done. And then the side, I couldn't think of what it was. I couldn't think of what I wanted. I actually came up with macaroni salad because I love mac salad. I love macaroni salad. But she said onion rings. So she made this battered onion rings. She had a whole Vidalia onion, which makes a lot of onion rings, by the way.
It does.
I hadn't had them.
So huge.
I had not had these onion rings since the beginning of the pandemic. I'm going to say April, May. We were watching Tiger King on Netflix. Remember that?
Stupid thing? The guy.
So, we took an entire Vidalia onion and we sliced it, made a lot of rings. We had 2 full baking pans full of fried onion rings, and that was dinner.
Oh.
That's all we ate. I'm like, it's a vegetable,
Well,
right? Right.
I mean,
So that was the side, and they were wonderful and delicious, and their family when they go, did you make onion rings? Oh my god! So
oh, I
it
love
was
onion rings.
quite popular. Oh, I do too.
Yeah,
Never
it's
had them
not
when I
bad.
was a kid, but man,
No,
onion
neither
rings,
did I.
breaded or beer battered, I don't care. We were at this bar one time. It was funny because my brother-in-law, or no, my nephew had given my sister-in-law for Christmas, gave her tickets to see Joe Jackson. And Joe Jackson was
Stepping
playing in DC
out.
at the, I forget where, National Theater, one of the downtown
Mm,
theaters.
he's still around, huh?
Right? Yeah. Well, this is a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So then
Probably still around.
now they weren't big into, my brother-in-law and his wife were not big into driving around Washington, DC.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, do you want to go? So I would drive. I'm like, okay, sure. Well, they couldn't get any tickets. It was sold out. So the greatest wife ever said, you know what? That's fine. We'll drive you. And then we're just going to bar hop. And she looked up all these places. So it was in this really nice, cool part of DC. It wasn't
Yeah.
Georgetown,
Yep.
but it was, nearby. And it was just like bar, 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 bar. And we found all these cool places to go. And and we went into this one place where you went down the stairs and you're in the basement of this probably 4 level Victorian house, it looked like, right?
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
another restaurant on top and then another something else. But you were in the basement for this bar and they had spicy onion rings. So it was a beer batter, but then there was like peppers and there was that's why I brought it up. It's because of the onion rings were unbelievable. It was so wonderful and delicious. So anyway, the point is I've gone up a little bit. So I'm getting back on the program. Got to get back on the program, because I like the number that I had. Pants are fitting better. I'm in other pair of jeans that I haven't had before. I pulled the belt in another notch. I know you can't see it, but it's actually easier for me to get up, sit down, and treat the cats and get up. It's amazing what happens when you start losing. It really is. So anyway, I gotta get back on the program.
I feel that.
So whilst I was sitting around last week, greatest wife ever is like, what do you want to watch? Let's say you pick. What do you want to watch? I'm like, oh, okay, great. Because I'm ready to go a full on superhero movie. Let's go DC. Let's yeah. I want to watch everything. And I didn't really do that. I found something which we like the international or spy and that kind of thing. So I found one called The Spy, and it was Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, but it was in a dramatic role. It was a real life role. He played Ely Cohen, who was a spy for the Mossad and was living in, I don't remember where. Oh, Ron, Syria, I believe. And so it was it was a mini series of like 5-6 episodes. It wasn't that many, but the acting, and you're on the edge of your seat. You already know how it ends. You already know.
Yeah.
But because they start at the beginning, and I'm not a big fan of something like that because you tend to forget in the middle where you're going to end up, and then you remember like, oh, because I already know how it ends. But it was amazing, and Sacha Baron Cohen,
Yeah. No, Borat.
amazing dramatic actor.
Ali G.
Amazing dramatic actor.
Really?
I was shocked. I kept remarking to the greatest wife ever the whole time. Like, that's Borat.
Right.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Great. I highly recommend it.
Huh.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And it's a true story. Which lends a little more to the edge of when there's a lot of tension and a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Suspense. I was like literally sitting on the edge of my seat. I like moving forward, watching. I'm like, oh no. Oh, as I'm watching this happen, it was really good. Highly recommend. On the other hand, I picked a
Okay.
movie, and I must have misread the description. It was Jude Law
Okay.
and Carrie Coons, who was most recently in the Ghostbusters. And Grace
Yeah, I don't know
Weber is
who
like,
she is. I'm gonna have to look her up.
well, Grace Weber is like, why do I know her? And she's from another show that she watches.
Okay.
The Gilded Age. She's from the Gilded Age, I
Yeah,
believe. Okay.
don't know her.
I think it's a Netflix series. So, and I thought it was like a psychological thriller. It's not. We kept waiting for something supernatural to happen.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away, but it doesn't because I must have misread it. It was a psychological drama, and it was
Yeah.
quite the downer.
Really?
Quite
Yeah.
the downer.
Yeah.
As I have experienced in my life, and Greatest Wave Ever and I have experienced in our lives, ups and downs financially, it was hard to watch somebody who was so high up start falling. This check bounces, and then you're like, this isn't entertainment for me.
Yeah, no, nobody right now wants to see that kind of movie.
It's now the real life drama with the spy. I'm like, I was all in because I was watching the whole thing, but this was just like, and it was these long takes of somebody just sitting there, and I'm supposed to go, oh, that's great acting, and I guess it is. Of just I'm supposed to watch what's going on on their face, and I don't know, maybe it's just lost on me. Maybe beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, I guess my criticism or my reaction is every bit as valid as anybody else's. But if somebody tells me that's great acting, and I'm like, I don't get it.
So wasn't what you were looking for.
So which one is it? Yeah, no, it wasn't what I was looking for. So
yeah,
I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are my two. I recommend one. Don't recommend the other. And if you do see it, I would love to get your opinion and tell me about it. In fact, you can always call. We have a number. It still works. 240-415-9090, I think.
Oh, yeah.
240-415-9090.
I went through a lot of trouble to keep that number. So
I know you did.
Needs to call it.
I'll call it.
Write it down.
Let's call a friend.
Put it on a bathroom wall. Something.
Yeah, do that.
Here I sit brokenhearted.
Tried to, but only. Yeah, I've seen that. Exactly. All right. So, for some reason, and I don't know what it is, there are a bunch of commercials now that are out. Now, some commercials I find entertaining. Some commercials are just informative. Most of the time, I just kind of try to get through them and move on. Oh, Napua. She says, what were the two movies again? Well, one is a miniseries, and it's called The Spy.
Yes.
Sacha Baron Cohen on Netflix.
Quick recap.
It's on Netflix. And the other one is a movie called The Nest, N-E-S-T, and that's with Jude Law. And
it's about one man's struggle to get his thermometer working.
What?
Nest thermometer? Come on.
No.
Little. Yeah. That's what it is. It's anger.
Okay.
Anger issues because of that.
Commercials. So commercials. I look, I make commercials for a living, actually, and I try to do the best that I can and make it good. Yes, the boo laughed.
Commercials you hate. I didn't see this was on the schedule.
You didn't see that?
Yeah.
All right. For some reason,
your number one is my number one right now.
Is it really?
Oh,
I got type 2 diabetes and
well,
Jardians. It's not the people. It's not the people. It's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not the actors or actresses, although they've changed it.
Yeah, they have.
Because now they've changed it because now they have a different guy. And I'm wondering why they're going down that road. I don't know if they got a lot of negativity with the other one. But anyway, there's one that's in the office, and there's a guy making copies. And she realizes that the copier isn't plugged in. And then he's like, oh. And I'm like, come on. How is this selling Jardians? Please explain to me why that was necessary. So, I don't necessarily have to have use this product, so that's fine, and I understand. And you want to get the word out and so on. But just it is.
I think all drug commercials should be banned. We're the only country in the civilized world that allows drug manufacturers to advertise like that. I think it should be gotten rid of. Honestly, let your doctor figure out what's right for you.
That's a recent thing too with deregulation.
Yeah, yeah, like no other country allows what we see here. Like, we don't know. Ozempic.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad that I'm singing back to you drug commercials.
Yeah, there was a time during the pandemic, during lockdown, we had a trivia group, and we would do trivia on Facebook Messenger. We just all would sit on our computers and ask each other questions. And one of them was, I just named the classic rock song, and all you had to do was name the drug.
It was associated with. How sad is that? Oh.
It was a bunch. There was a Fleetwood Mac song, and Go Your Own Way. You didn't go your own way. That was a commercial.
Yeah, I know.
There were a bunch.
I know. Trying to think which one that was.
That's not the one though. I mean, Jarnius is the top of the list, but that's not. I just put it in the list. The one that really bugs me.
What is this one?
Keebler Club Crackers. There are 4 women sitting, and they're pulling out club crackers, and they're putting stuff on the club crackers. And they're humming club crackers. And then the one on the end, come and get yourself some club crackers. And she's looking at it. And then they all laugh at her.
What?
And then the one woman on the end is not laughing. She's just like, what's wrong with you? How is that selling the club? It just rubs me the wrong way. Nothing against the actress. Nothing against the concept. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me.
This one. Why have I not seen this? It must be you're watching some or channel that I'm not watching.
No, I'm not. I'm just, although I have noticed when I watch MeTV that it's all, like late night insurance. It's like all of these things targeting me.
Yeah. Well, it is MeTV. Right?
Oh, good. Sandy says, I know that commercial. I agree. So annoying. I looked it up online.
Napua and you can't be friends.
And people, what?
Thought it was funny.
Okay. Well, you buy the club crackers, because I'm going to do anything but buy those club crackers. I don't know.
Wow.
Another one that I don't get. And why? Why is the guy on the ski slope? He's in, I guess he had a skiing accident or something, and somebody's laid out Cheez-Its crackers all the way down this mountain. He sees them. He rolls off out of the gurney or whatever. I guess they were going to airlift him out of there. He rolls off, starts sliding down the mountain with the Cheez-Its going in his mouth. All of his clothes come off except for he's got red bikini underwear on as he slides down the mountain with these these Cheez-It crackers going in his mouth. And then he slides through an ice. I guess they were ice fishing through a shack. And the guy pulls his child back because a man in bikini underwear is sliding through eating. And then he comes to the end, and there's that stupid cheese wheel, the talking cheese wheel, and he's just eating these.
Okay, I do. But what? What do we advertise? Yeah, why? Why did that just happen? I get annoyed by the stupidity where it's like, how Homer Simpson in the beginning of The Simpsons used to be smart, and now it's just dumb Homer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of times that's the humor that they go for in these commercials. It's just the dumb guy.
Oh, the dumb guy. Oh, dumb guy.
Like absolutely the guy who, I tried to take out my pancreas. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I mean, come on. Really? That's one of the commercials, by the way, that annoys me.
There's really one where I tried to take my pancreas?
Yeah, I tried to do surgery on myself, essentially, and it didn't work out too well. Wheeling them out and it's basically like, I think you should hire a pro to do things.
Now,
And, I can't even remember what it was for. It's so dumb.
I have to, though, on the other side of the coin, I will say that, look, my taste is not the taste. It's just my taste. Right. So, Jennifer, okay, good point. Jennifer just posted, but these stupid commercials get your attention and you talk about them, LOL. It's not making me buy the product, though.
Nor is it making me remember the guy, what he was selling, taking out his pancreas. I have no idea. Like, I can't name the product.
I mean, look, I remember the Cheez-Its and I remember Jardines and I remember the Club
So that worked. Those worked.
Not making me buy them, though.
And Ozempic.
Just because I'm talking about it. And I don't know if that's going to make other people buy it. Is somebody going to go and go, well, he was talking about the commercial, so I'm going to go buy this product. I don't know if that's how that works. I mean, in the marketing department, if they're high-fiving each other because they're like, hey, people hate our commercial, I don't know if that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
I mean, there is such a thing as bad press.
Taylor says they do it on purpose because people talk about their dumb commercials on their podcasts. Fair enough.
But they're not buying the product. That's what you want them to do.
That's a problem.
That's what you want them to do, is buy the product. There's such thing as negative press, negative feedback. Anyway.
Yes. It's true.
Or those, but I get a great night's sleep on. Okay.
Right.
Now,
I did stay at Holiday Inn last night.
There you go.
See, now that one,
listen, I want to say there's one that I like that I know the Greatest Wife Ever can't stand, and I actually do like it.
What's that?
It's the woman for a kayak for the trip, the trip service, booking trips. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and she's stuffing hay. Because she, if you want to do it yourself. She's not going to do kayak. And then she's the scarecrow, and she hangs here and she just goes, ah! I'm like, I love that. I don't know why. I just think she's a great scarecrow. And I remember the product name, and I understand the whole point is let them do it for you. And she's going to do it yourself. So she makes herself a scarecrow. I love it. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
So there you go. There's the hypocrisy in me. That's my taste. Some I can't stand, some that I love. Well, no.
Greatest Wife Ever. It's sort of dumb guy.
It's dumb.
Sort of.
Yeah. But I love it. I think it's great. All right.
Yes. All right.
Are you ready, John?
Am I? I guess
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a hot minute. Oof. By the way, we were in the middle of we got the heat dome going on right now.
Oh, come on.
And we have a heat advisory here.
Polar vortex.
Where I am. No. It's the heat dome. Dangerous heat indices. I want to thank, by the way,
and the heat index. It's not real.
I want to thank the National Weather Service and NOAA for using the correct grammar for more than one index. It's heat indices. That's correct. That is correct. It's not indexes. That's not it. That's incorrect. So don't say indexes and think that it's correct, because it's not.
I don't mind if you give me the heat indices.
There's no
give me those
indices.
Okay. I don't mind if you give me the heat index next to the temperature.
Yeah.
But don't give me the heat index alone. Don't make it seem like the temperature really is more hot than it is.
Also,
it is that temperature.
Rename the heat index to the real feel.
Oh, that's another one.
The real feel temperature
on Doppler 10,000.
Don't. Just don't.
Doppler.
You don't have to dumb it down. I know what a heat index is. It's the temperature and the relative humidity. I got it.
Got it.
It's what it feels like. You don't have to say it's a real. It's a real feel.
Okay, real feel. Okay, no, but I'm tired of them coming up with these names for things to make it seem worse than it is. It's summer. It's Washington, D.C. It's hot.
It's a swamp.
It's summer in the low country. We live on an island. It's going to be swampy. It's hot.
Technically, it's not summer yet.
Well,
summer. And I was going to have a question about
that. But, this happens every year.
A couple of days away.
We go through a week or so where it's like, holy moly, that's an early taste of summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So, but I mean, right, exactly. The temperatures are in, and I mentioned this yesterday on the air. I was talking to somebody about the heat index, and I said that I like to think back to January
Yeah.
when it's gray because, Maryland, and we just have gray skies all the time. And then it's 40 during the day. It doesn't really get out of it. It's not
Right.
snowing and it's kind of raining, and you wonder if you're ever going to feel warm ever again.
Okay.
That's what I try to remember during weeks like this. Because
I mean, right?
I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm
Go
trying
out
to,
in the morning, go out in the evening.
I've got the seasons. That's right. Now,
I'll have air conditioning.
That's the thing. My
For the most
AC
part.
is working. We did have the AC break one time in July, in the middle of July.
Yeah, that's not good.
It was bad.
I'd literally be at Walmart the same day buying a window unit just to get by.
Friend of ours gave us one of those stand-up units with the
with the exhaust. That's what I would do. Like you got to
okay.
As long as the powers work.
Brought it down into the 80s in the house.
It's better than
better than the 90s. Exactly. All right.
Yes.
It's time to get the gray matter working. Fire up the synapses, engage for the lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to It's time to
There he goes.
Think.
He was on vacation too.
It's been a little while.
Back.
It's the question of the day, or the QOD for short, and it's always for pride, not prize. Pride, not prize. Here's today's question of the day. Today is Paul McCartney's birthday, and you would think I would know how old he is, but I don't.
Sir Paul,
but it's older than 64. Yes, Sir Paul McCartney, I should say. Yes, formerly of the Beatles, formerly of Wings, and a solo artist in his own right. Today is his birthday, June 18th.
He's 82 today.
This American punk band got their name from an alias Paul McCartney used to use to register in hotels during Beatlemania. What band is it? I gave you 2 clues in there. One more time. This American, okay, so Sex Pistols are out because they're British. American punk band got their name from an alias Paul McCartney used to use to register in hotels during Beatlemania. What band is it?
Oh, my.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. I know. I was so excited that I came up with this the question. And you don't have to know like super trivia stuff about the American music scene or any of that stuff.
This is a tough one.
Pretty straightforward. Is it?
Maybe when I hear it, it probably won't be, but.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see what kind of answers we have. Do we have people giving answers?
No, we got one, but it's not even a name. So Napua, I don't know what you're doing there.
Napua said the Ramones. That's correct. There you go.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, explain.
His name, he would register as Paul Ramone.
Oh.
And the Ramones, and then they made all of their last names Ramone.
Okay, I was literally thinking it was a full name as the band name. That's why I was stuck.
Oh, no, she got it. The Ramones.
Johnny Ramone.
Well, American punk. I mean, I can't think of anything other than the Dead Kennedys, and we know where they got their names from.
Right.
And then so when it comes to the punk music scene, and you're going American punk band, I would say that it was all right. I'm sorry I led you down the primrose path there, Jennifer, with the question. I apologize.
Hold on. We did have other.
Apparently, that was.
Yeah, we had.
I got a Okay. I got a Judas Priest. Judas Priest. I love those guys.
I know. You got another thing coming.
Hellbent for leather.
You got another thing coming.
I go way back with them. You got a contract on you. What? I love Judas Priest. Living after midnight.
By the way, I used to crack up a buddy of mine's dad, instead of cursing, would say that. He'd be like, Judas Priest.
Yeah, right. Oh, I got my friend.
I cracked up laughing, and I'm like, you got another thing coming.
I think that's where that came from.
It might be.
The band's name came from the I don't know. I had to look that up. But I did affect one of our friends, because she doesn't like to curse. She's trying to cut back on the cursing, so she doesn't do that.
Good.
And she did what I do. What? She stepped on something at the pool. This was on Father's Day. Yeah. And she goes, "Mother, father."
Right. I'm son of a beach ball. Yeah, exactly. I know.
Yeah, right.
You catch yourself. You try. You try.
I try to say foul, filth, foul and filth.
Foul and filth and filth and foul.
Cheese
foul,
and
foul.
rice.
Yeah, cheese.
That one doesn't really work.
It's dad things.
And sometimes. But cursing. Yes, the Ramones were the other name from because I was a huge Beatles fan, huge Paul McCartney fan.
I did not know that.
I'd have to say what I was recently listening to, because I go back and listen to Beatles albums every now and then. At least twice a month, I'll go through Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I think that's probably my favorite, but that's right up there with Abbey Road. And I listen to Abbey Road as well. But the Sgt. Pepper's, I'll listen now. They've got the mono mix. There were two different mixes. The US loved the stereo. We had the stereo. But pretty much in the UK, like the first 4 or 5 albums, the British releases, not the Capitol records, but the ones on Parlophone, were all mono mix.
But Sgt. Pepper was mono?
There was a mono mix for Sgt. Pepper, yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd like that. With the other ones, I get.
You got to try it. You got to try it. Yeah, because it's it brings a lot of instruments that might get lost, because this whole drums in the right channel and this and the vocals over here in the left channel, because they didn't spectrally try to make
space it out. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just like dump this all in one channel, dump this all in another channel. For the stereo part, it's pretty amazing. You hear a lot of instruments, and the bass is way more pronounced, and the drums, believe it or not, you hear much more of a kick drum than you would if it's all just sitting over here on one side. But yeah, I recommend the mono mix on a lot of stuff. And also, when you think about it, when that stuff first came out in 1964, crossing over to the US, you were listening to it on little AM radios on, speakers that were in mono anyway. What was the point in having it in stereo? It was only if you bought the records with the stereo mix, Capitol Records. And but we loved our stereo, and they would remix it for the American market, and then they would just put gobs of reverb on it. Hang on. So I have my reverb. Hello. No, where's my reverb? Hello. Reverb. Ooh. Okay. No, I'll bring that back up for
spooky
or Halloween. Yeah. But lots of reverb on the vocals. Oh yeah, I'd tell you something. And that was for the American market.
Very nice.
It's a little cleaner on the UK mixes of the early Beatles stuff. And then, of course, I love the solo Paul McCartney, which I think Band on the Run probably was his best album.
Oh yeah.
And that was just the three of them. That was just Paul, Linda, and Danny Lane. And they recorded in Lagos, Nigeria, I believe. For Band on the Run. And pretty amazing. And then if you look at the front cover, I told you, I know a lot about Paul McCartney. You look at the front cover, right? They're caught in a spotlight, but actor James Coburn is in there because he was just around.
Just happened to be around. We're going to put you on the cover.
Let's put you on the cover James, of this. Yeah,
come on in.
Come on in. So I remember looking at him and going, I know that guy.
Like he's
Who is that guy? I like, though, on the album like that, on Band on the Run, I like some of the songs that weren't super popular. Band on the Run, of course, was a #1 smash. And then you had Jet was included on that. But there are a bunch of other songs on that album. Mamunia is a great one. Mrs. Vanderbilt. is another great one. I remember playing because I was a DJ in 1984, so 40 years ago in August. So that New Year's Eve, of course, I had to work. I'm working overnight going into New Year's Day. So at midnight, of course, we played New Year's Day from U2.
Right.
And we came right out of that and went into Paul McCartney. And well, I think it was it Wings. I think it was just Paul McCartney. Might have been just Wings. I don't know. But off of Band on the Run into 1985. No one ever left alive. 1985 will ever do. So it was 1985, and I remember playing that.
Making it all work. By the way, I remembered something as you're talking about music. It just popped into my head.
Yes.
You asked me the karaoke song that I did.
Yes.
Learn to Fly. The Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Since we in the band actually played that.
We did play that. Yes, right.
I played that I sang.
I played the drums on that.
So
in our band briefly, John and I played in a band. John called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to play drums?" Yeah. And there's not a line outside my house asking me to play drums. So when somebody asks you to play drums,
you go play drums.
You play drums, and that's what I did. I played
in the band,
and I named it. You need to stop.
We named it Not All There because we had problems getting everybody there.
Everybody there at one time.
One
guy was a firefighter, and he was always called out, and he
eventually just dropped out of the
band. He eventually dropped out. I was a little bummed about that, but still, that was a lot of fun.
Not all there.
That was we were not all there.
No.
That's where you came up with that Neil Morse song.
Yeah, the change.
Yeah,
look it up. It's cool.
Not easy.
No.
Not easy on the drums.
It's not. Neil's a prog guy that wrote a pop tune. And yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, but it was the kick drum was the thing that was killing me because they got that drummer. It was way more complicated than I thought it was. And I thought I bit off more than I could have just slacked off and just played whatever.
Yeah. But I usually did on bass.
But I didn't. No, you didn't. But I really wanted to make it right and make sure that I played it correctly, because that's the challenge. If you're going to do a cover song, then
do it right. If you're going to do it right. Do it with me.
Oh my God.
Little Wham.
Where did you? I know. Thank you very much. Wow, you pulled that out.
I don't know. This is what goes on. If you could see inside my head, JY inside out.
I know.
It would not be a good thing. Hey, it's time to go, Ron.
I know. And I just wanted to, thank you for putting up with this. I'm sorry we were gone for a couple of weeks, but we had to do what we had to do. But we're no. But we're back, and we'll have another edition. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. If you're
here next week,
the audio portion of this,
I'm here.
I appreciate that. You can obviously get the wherever you get your podcast, and we're live on X now, on Twitter.
I know.
Also very exciting too.
That is exciting. I think we've added a few more listeners because of that.
Very nice. I'm so happy that we were able to do that, and thank you for following along. Press the subscribe button, whatever you got.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that her name is Taylor Elizabeth.
I know. Isn't that great?
The comment just popped up if you're watching the video portion of this.
Yeah.
And what else? Do I have anything else? I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything
else. Napua gets Pride Not Prize, by the way. Carry that around with you all week, Napua, because you got it correct. It was the Ramones. Hey ho, let's go. And do I have anything else? I don't have anything else. We got have yourself a great first day of summer is this week. So
stay cool, friends.
Midsummer Night's
and Independence Day coming up soon.
Right.
Couple weeks.
Well, we will have a show for that week, and we'll have a show next week.
It'll be a glorious 4-hour celebration of all countries, but mostly America.
Okay. All right. So listen, please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John Uglinski back on U.S. soil. Ron Ross never left. Love you, mean it.
Going to Toronto next week or this week. See ya.
All right, goodbye, John.
Bye.
Bicycle. Good Lord.
Bye.